News in 5.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
Good day. This is World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. The aid group World Central Kitchen said on Tuesday an Israeli airstrike killed 7 of its workers in Gaza and that the group is immediately pausing its humanitarian efforts in the region. The charity mentioned in a statement that it had completed a delivery of 100 tons of food aid to a warehouse in Deir al-Bala and that a convoy of 2 armored cars with the group's logo was leaving the site when it was struck. The World Central Kitchen said the group had coordinated its movements in advance with the Israeli military. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu acknowledged that the country's forces had carried out the unintended strike on innocent people, adding this happens in war. The United States, Israel's chief ally in the nearly 6-month Israel-Hamas war, condemned the attack, with White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby saying that they were outraged to learn of an Israel Defense Forces strike that killed a number of civilian humanitarian workers. Kirby added that the U.S. is expecting an Israeli investigation of the incident to be done in a swift and comprehensive manner and that there is appropriate accountability.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
In other news overseas, United States President Joe Biden again warned Chinese President Xi Jinping against meddling in the November U.S. presidential election during the two leaders' phone call on Tuesday. The call is part of U.S. efforts to maintain open lines of communication to responsibly manage competition and prevent unintended conflict, according to the White House. In various engagements, the U.S. has raised its continual reinforcement of concern against Chinese election interference, a senior administration official told reporters in a Monday briefing previewing the call. Biden last raised the issue in his meeting with Xi in Woodside, California last November. Beijing has repeatedly said it has no interest in meddling in U.S. internal affairs. It is noted that a declassified U.S. intelligence threat assessment released in February warned of Beijing's higher degree of sophistication in its influence activity, including by using generative AI. The report warned of growing efforts to actively exploit perceived U.S. societal divisions online.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
And news from the Philippine Foreign Service Post, Philippine Ambassador Josel F. Ignacio presented his letters of credence to Indian President Draupadi Murmu, formally accrediting him as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of the Philippines to the Republic of India. The solemn ceremonies were held at the Rashtrapi Bhavan or Presidential Palace on the 27th of March 2024. After presenting his credentials, Ambassador Ignacio was received in audience by President Murmu, during which the ambassador conveyed the felicitations of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and the Filipino people. In their respective remarks, President Murmu and Ambassador Ignacio both welcomed the conspicuous enhancement of Philippine-Indian relations. They acknowledged the steady gains in high-level dialogues, bilateral merchandise trade, agriculture cooperation, Indian investments in the Philippines, as well as Indian participation in Philippine infrastructure projects. They also welcomed the expansion of engagement into newer avenues such as defense, as exemplified by the Philippines' acquisition of BrahMos missiles. The Indian head of state and ambassador Ignacio also recognized the two countries' historical and cultural bonds and shared democratic heritage, and committed to work towards enhanced connectivity and people-to-people exchanges.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5 for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
World News in 5.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.